Hi, welcome to Houston to LA. I'm Patricia Tone, and we are YouTube Live. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, but I especially want to think, thank this wonderful comedic actress. I just realized we've been friends a really, 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 really long time.
It's been a minute,
And
yeah.
y'all put your hands together for Miss Staci Lynn Fletcher. Yeah, Stacy. Girl, we've been we go back like Cadillac
Yeah, we do.
and brown liquor.
Yes, we do. I was actually telling a friend of mine when I was telling him that I was going to do this with you. I was telling him how we met. Do you recall how we met?
I don't.
Okay, so I put a post up on Facebook. Some friends and I wanted to shoot a sketch, and we needed someone to shoot it for us. And we didn't know each other. You responded to me. You said, I see your post and I see that we have a lot of mutual friends and it feels right. I'll do it. And I was like, really? And you came with all of your equipment and filmed our sketch for us.
With your buddy.
Jalen Bishop. Yep. Yep.
And I remember now, I'm sorry, I'm turning on the fan, y'all. I'm having a hot flash up in here. Uh, oh my God, that's the first time, huh?
Yeah. And then after we got to know each other, we do know so many because I didn't know you as a comic. Because I had moved to Chicago. I was in Chicago for a while before I moved back. So I
Oh,
missed you as a comic. But you
I
know
was
all of my camp.
wondering about that.
So
But
you know all of my friends. Yeah.
mhm, let me make you laugh. So recently I've been purging and throwing away stuff in here because, in this industry, I have tons of everything, right?
Right.
And I realized I still had a stack of 8 by 10s from people.
Uh
Guess who headshot was in there? Yours.
my which
I had your freaking headshot.
which version of it? Because was it black and white? Was it color? What?
Black and white
Oh,
from back in the day when I was trying to do the management company, I guess. Or I was it could have even been it could have been even when I used to have my rooms. I had different types of comedy rooms,
uh,
and it had to be one of them
that
where
funny.
yeah, where I would ask people for their 8 by 10 so that I would remember who's who, right?
Right.
So I don't know how. I had some 8 by 10s. I actually started crying because Courtney G was in there.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, Courtney and I used to have so much fun together
Hmm.
and have such great conversations.
Hmm.
But yeah, see, that's what people don't understand. I used to try to help anybody in any way that I could, which also meant having a twofold for me because it's like I want to help people and I also want to practice my craft.
Right.
And so if I knew and know how hard it is for people to have equipment or get people with equipment because back in the day black folks ain't really had no equipment. We had to hire other people.
Right. Right. Right.
I remember those skits. I don't think I ever saw the finished product though.
Really,
You know,
I'm gonna have to send you a link. Well, you had to because you sent it to me.
did I?
Yeah,
Girl,
I'll send you. It's on YouTube somewhere. I'll find a link and send it to you.
yeah, I need to see that all over again. All over again. But you look so pretty. I want to
Oh,
thank you
thank
for
you.
being here.
Well,
So,
thanks for having me.
huh?
I said thanks for having me for asking me to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. Let me just let everybody know, even the ones who gonna watch while we're not live. Stacy is the most dedicated, friendly, yeah, I'll help you out type of person I've ever met.
Oh,
I have called her for projects for class, for school, for whatever, and Stacy was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." She did. She did not hesitate to help me in any harebrained idea that I have had in my head for production. And you've always been there for me. And I just want to publicly say thank you a
oh,
million times.
well, you are
A
welcome. You
million
are.
times. I don't know if I told you, but I love your face on camera. I have always loved your face.
Well,
I
thank you.
love your style, your mannerisms and everything. And I was just looking at your IMDb last night so that I could remember some things.
Hmm.
And oh God, I want to say for me, my favorite role is you in the Vince Staples show.
Oh, oh yeah, with fighting with Vanessa Bell Calloway.
If I tell you that was the funniest shit to me, I was so proud. I felt like I don't know. I almost felt like he was my child or something. I'm like, oh
That
my God,
was,
I'm in here screaming,
yeah, that was a lot of
watching you.
fun. I was supposed to come back. They had reached out to me to come back for this. They're filming the
Second
second
season.
season, but then it something happened. It fell through after. Yeah, it fell through. So I don't know the reason behind that, but I was looking forward to going back because it was
Oh,
a lot of fun. Yeah.
that's my favorite of you. I mean, you. I have some other stuff that I like you in,
Uh-huh.
but you in that scene was priceless.
Oh, thank you.
Priceless.
Thank you.
So tell us about your experience with um, Cedric the Entertainer and the neighborhood show. How did well I know how it came about, but tell us how you stumbled into that.
So, first of all, I have to say that the cast in its entirety of the neighborhood is they have my heart. They are just each and every one of them lovely, lovely people. Um,
Hmm.
and they're all family oriented. You know, they're all about they're
Yes.
about their business, but they're all about their families outside of their business, and it shows. You know, because it is
Hmm.
you always hear people say it's like it's a family environment or whatever. It
Yeah.
is. It really it truly is. And one of the first things that I noticed when I was on set there is that
Hmm.
um it's an ensemble cast. You know, Cedric is clearly the lead,
Right.
right? But it is an
Right.
ensemble. But one of the first things I noticed when I got there is that they don't care who has the joke in the scene, as long as the joke works.
It's
You know,
funny. Yeah.
they allow each other to shine as long as the joke works, as long as it's moving the story forward.
Forward. Yeah.
That was, and that's not the case on every show. I've
Hmm.
worked shows where someone will have the joke and you show up the next day and that joke is given to some the bigger
The
star,
line.
you
Yeah.
know, because they want the
Yeah.
bigger laugh. So that was literally that was one of the first things I noticed working on that show. I love that show.
Well, just in my observation, both of them have been around forever. Sid
Yes.
and Tashina. I I wouldn't even expect them to have any other attitude. They are confident in who they are. They're both funny. They've been here. They just seem like that type of person who's not afraid to let other people shine. You
Absolutely,
know.
and that's true.
Hmm.
That's real, and
Hmm.
it's true for them. It's true for Max. It's true for Beth,
Hmm.
Marcel, Shion.
Yeah.
Literally, the whole entire cast. It's amazing. Like they're all on the same accord in that way. You
And
know.
that's probably what has kept the longevity of that show. If
About
if
season
it's
8.
pure in heart. Yeah. Yeah. I I actually have caught that show several times, and yeah, the comedy, the humor, it's really, really there. Now, one thing okay, this is me. I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I just don't get the sons. Sometimes to me, it's like one of the guys kind of look older than the daddy, and I'm like, I know
Oh,
that can happen in real life, but it's so hard sometimes. Sometimes I don't know, it's just me. Sometimes he look absolutely fine, and then other times he look a little older.
he
But
looks a little older. Yeah,
overall, yeah,
and
overall,
Marcel has the eternal baby face. So
yeah,
it's that.
it's like
Yeah. No, they're great. Their chemistry together is amazing.
it's amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I love that Tashina Arnold has been able to just keep popping up. I love her. I do you know she used to come out to the comedy store, that back upstairs room quite a bit.
The belly room, yeah.
Uh, the no, it was another one in the
Oh,
back.
oh, okay.
And then call it the belly room. It seemed like they had three rooms back in the day,
Right.
but
It's the
it used
original room.
was
It's the
room.
room. The main room and the belly room was in the back upstairs.
Oh, belly room. Okay, you're
Okay.
right. That's it, belly room. And she used to come in there all the time.
Mhm.
And all the celebrities would be up in that little room.
Yeah.
It would be jam packed,
Yeah.
but
She's
she
come
was
out to my
always
show a couple of times. Tashina is a comedic genius. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
that woman is
yeah,
amazing. I
yeah,
love to watch her work. You know, to
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
She she is a person. With her being from Broadway too, I think has been a contributing factor as to why she uh is the front runner because her craft, she's practiced the craft of
Hmm.
acting and performing all of her life, and you can really tell.
She's good people too.
So,
That's my home girl.
yeah,
She's good people.
yeah. Now, the other things that I have loved you in are your commercials.
Oh, the commercial's been very good to me.
Girl, but you've been good to them.
Oh my
You,
goodness. If I got
which
on
one is your favorite?
um okay, I have favorites for different reasons.
Yeah, yeah.
So Cabenuva, which was an HIV medication, that one was so much fun. It
Hmm.
was the first time that I like shot something where we didn't have any dialogue. We was just doing stuff. So we
Yeah.
could do and say whatever. The conversations don't match what's going on. That was a lot of fun. And I loved it because I ate off that commercial for 3 years. Oh my God. That was
Whoa.
a beautiful job. Um, but that
Whoa.
yeah. Um, all of them are fun, have been fun. What I did one, oh, I got to work with a horse for AT&T commercial. There was a horse in a dentist office. That was my first time
Wow.
working with a horse. So,
That seems exciting. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I don't, yeah, for different reasons, they're fun. One was pretty much so all improv, just shoot, just throwing stuff out there. That was fun. Um, and I would hate when I wasn't fast enough. I was like, I should have said, but and
Yeah.
as much it's funny because that particular one, as much dialogue that I did get in, they always tend to just use my looks, me giving a side eye to somebody. That's what always
Because
makes it in commercials. So whatever.
I told you, we love your face, and very few people know how to use their face for their
Mhm,
benefit in acting.
mhm,
It's not a lot of people that can do that. And I learned that in, like I said, when back in the day when I was trying to do my management company, and I would try to get, them to rehearse sides and things like that. They didn't have a clue, Stacy. They don't believe in taking classes. They didn't believe in anything. They don't know what play to the camera mean. They don't know what use your eyes, or none of that.
I
And
think for an actor, like, two things when people ask me about acting. For one, I think the first time that you are on a set should not be when you book the job. That
right.
should never be your first time on set,
Mhm.
because it is way too much going on that has nothing to do with
Mhm.
can distract you, that you need to know what's happened. So I encourage anyone, even if you get on set one day as a background artist, if you can't be on as a background artist, if you know someone, go see if you can observe, go to a live taping. You need to see what's happening. I think that's very helpful. The other thing that is priceless, and I'm sure you can attest to this, Patricia, get in an editing bay. I don't care if it's a student film, I don't care what it is. When you see what needs to happen to edit, you understand why your scenes get cut. You not your continuity's not happening. You immediately immediately know what's going on. You don't have to be big. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, yeah.
if you don't see
You
it, you know.
You just spoke the gospel right there. Because let me tell you, I am one for continuity. And like I said, even though my projects are low budget or whatever, I have had people, I'll say, cut, everybody stay where you are, nobody move. And I'll do something and come back and somebody then wipe the sweat off their faces. I'm like, no, I said don't move. Don't touch your hair. Don't adjust your shirt. Don't do any
Yeah,
damn thing. Just stand there for 3 seconds.
yeah.
And they don't get it.
And
And
then
you're so right.
you can't edit it together because it's not going to match. You know.
Or they turn slightly in a different angle and you're doing this, and then when you say no, go back, they don't know what go back mean, or
And then
you
it looks
know,
like Tubi shows that everybody like to make fun of.
oh girl. Listen, that short film I just edited, I had a joke in there. I said, this is like it going too bad.
Yeah.
Because I was working with a special effects. Let me tell people, if you don't have a special effects person, don't do it. I was trying to work with some fog, some smoke to come
Uh,
out the engine, and the wind was blowing. That shit kicked our ass.
You're like, oh,
And
this is
I just,
simple. No, it's not.
uh, listen. What is it? One scene you see smoke, one scene you don't. I didn't even care at the end. I was like, I just gotta go with it. I couldn't even find no smoke. For edit in the Edibay, on one of them apps where they have samples. None of the
Yeah.
smoke would match the smoke that I had. So I was like, I don't even care right now. I don't even care.
And that's why
But
you have that stuff on Tubi, because folks is
uh,
tired. It's like,
And that's why I don't really laugh at them people on YouTube. I'm like, y'all don't know how hard that shit is, baby. Y'all can talk about them people on Tubi if you want to until you go make a movie
uh huh.
or do a project. But you know what I love? This is what I love about social media is that everybody who think it's so easy to make content and do production, they learn the hard way for social media.
Yeah.
When they thought everybody had to learn how to edit them 60-second videos, even the 6 second videos when it used to be the Vine or whatever that shit
Fine. Do it for
was.
the man. Do it for the man.
Yep. And so editing has really opened up people's eyes to production and movies. Hi, Shiva. production and movies and everything, because now that they have to do it for social media and they see you can't really just sit there, you have to do some type of editing.
Yeah.
It really just showed people like, yeah, y'all think this easy. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I've had people come on my sets and go, you make this look so easy. I'm
Mhm.
like, but it's only easy if you practice,
Mhm.
right? Like you said in the beginning. I learned that you needed to be on a set in
Mhm.
some form or fashion. And do you know, still to this day, I get emails from people saying, "Hey, can you shoot this for me? Can I use your production company?" I'm like, I don't do that no more. I don't
Mhm.
do that no more. They want to still try and get something for nothing, right?
Yes.
And it's like it's a lot of them. They are first time producers. They are first time writers, and they usually say, "Oh, I see you worked on BET." That's when I know they don't really know who I am because BET is so old.
Uh-huh.
It's so old on my resume.
Right.
But
And it's
let's
more than
jump
you just
over.
standing there with a camera. It's like it's just gonna be an hour, just standing there with a camera and
Oh,
film us.
that's the death valley of it when they say, "Oh, it's just gonna take." No, immediately no, no. Anybody that use those words, no, no. But let's switch over to another hot topic right now, and that's your stand-up comedy.
Oh, it's a hot topic.
Baby, listen. Ever since Shannon Sharp interviewed Cat Williams, stand-up comedy is out of control.
Okay.
And let's just, how did you end up in stand-up comedy?
Okay. I never had a desire to stand up. Like ever since I was a little girl, all I wanted to do was act and be on TV. Sitcoms. Sit. I have been in love with sitcoms forever. So we'll start there. Never had a desire to be on it. I had a friend that I used to hang out with. She's my best friend, and she was pursuing stand up. And so I would go to open mics with her and hang out with her. And, it was just so I could hang out with my friend and it was just something cool to do. And so then I wrote her some jokes and I'll never forget it. And she did it at the Comedy Act Theater. And after her show at the Comedy Act Theater, all these people were going up, that joke about so and so, oh my God, that was so funny. And I was like, I wrote that. That was my joke. And so I was like, I'm doing my own damn jokes. And that's how I started doing stand up.
Are you gonna tell us who it is?
No, she doesn't.
Wow!
She's not doing stand up anymore. But she's still she doesn't do
I
stand up
only
anymore. Huh?
I only want to know because that used to be my stomping grounds comedy act. I was
That's
there every
where, yeah,
week.
and that is where I started stand up at the Comedy Act Theater. It was after um uh, DL DL Hughley and Ricky Harris. I think were like the hosts during
Well,
the time I started.
we had to have known each other there, I think, before, because that's when I was there almost all the every week with
Really?
DL and Ricky Harris.
Yeah. And so I started in 91, I think.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
was around.
That's crazy. I don't. Yeah. Started in 91. I remember Melanie Camacho coming in and when she
Yeah,
first started. Yep.
everybody. I mean, it was like a fight to get through those damn doors to get in that place. Whether you were a comic or a customer, it was
Absolutely.
like
Yeah.
crazy.
Michael Williams started a lot of careers.
Yes,
He really did.
yes, yes. And then on top of that, they would have other events that were celebrity based events outside the comedy. I
Hmm.
was there front row. Whoopi Goldberg taped her special in that place.
Oh,
And
which special? Was,
I don't know, but it was in the 90s, and she was at the Comedy Act Theater.
hmm.
And I only got in through my friend Roland Work because Roland was good friends with Vanessa Bell Calloway, who owned the building.
uh,
And I called Roland because I knew he was going.
uh,
And me and Roland go way back because I used to help his buddy do decorations for all of his events.
uh,
And so when Roland came, I'll never forget. Roland, he had my hand and we going through the door, and Vanessa like, stop. And she did stop right in my face. And I'm like, no, I'm with him. And Roland come like, no, she with me, she with me. I was like, thank God. And so we get inside, and there's nowhere to sit.
I'm sure.
And, and they pulled out a chair in the front of the stage. And so during Whoopi's taping, and the camera's panning, and it pans right past my face, and you can see me on camera. I was like, I'll never forget it. But I just can't. I would have to look it up to see if it's on her IMDb to see the name of the special. But yeah, that place was so popular
Yeah.
and has such history
Hmm.
because yeah, Ricky Harris, man.
Cause I can't remember him and DL used to split it, right? Did they alternate hosting?
I don't remember
Cause it's yeah,
DL
uh,
as the host. I remember DL just performing. I remember Ricky Harris,
maybe I
and
made
I
those up.
remember Robin Harris.
No, so I came after Rob. Robin had already passed when I started going down there.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Okay, okay. But yeah, Ricky, baby, everybody wants to be Ricky. Ricky
yeah,
would eat them alive in that place. That boy, and he was so nice too. He was
yeah.
so nice to people. He was never disrespectful. And that's what as I was going along or trying to butter my bread in comedy, I I used to get so upset at how negative and nasty some of the other comics were. And I'm like, do y'all know the real funny people weren't even like this? You know, the people who had talent and had folks breaking down the door to get in the building,
Hmm.
they were nice, you know,
Yeah.
and it switched over to people, everybody wants to be the it factor, you know, and it just started making everybody be nasty to one another,
It
and
says
it's
crowded at the
not right.
bottom. It's crowded at the bottom.
That's what it is.
Hmm.
So tell us about your upcoming shows. You do a thing in comedy now.
Yeah, I have a
Let's bring
yeah.
awareness to that.
So I co-produce a monthly show at the Ice House. It's called Home by Nine. It's an early show.
Okay. All right.
Because
By that.
we want to be home by nine. So yeah, I co-produce it with Jalen Bishop, and it's cool because comedy has changed so much in LA. Where as you can go somewhere and it might be 12, 15 comics on the roster doing
Yeah.
7 minutes, so you don't really get a chance to stretch out as a comic. So on our show, we just have 5 comics, and everybody's doing 15 minutes to get to stretch out a bit. All of our comics are vets, so to speak, been in the game for, you know, 10 plus years, the
Uh-huh.
majority of our
Yeah.
comics. So it's a great show at the Ice House. Actually, the next one is a week from today, March 29th at 7:30 at the Ice House. It the shows folks buy their tickets at the last minute, but the shows normally sell out, and we
You
have
know,
we
yeah.
have we really do have a great time. Yeah,
And the ice house is located where?
It's in Pasadena. I think
Okay.
address is 24 North Mentor. It's in
Well, I
Pasadena.
just wanted you to say the city so that people,
Yeah,
if they Google the ice house, they'll know they'll be looking up the right location.
yeah. It's in Pasadena. Like I said, the shows are fun. The club is beautiful. They've redecorated it. It's
Really?
switched ownerships. It's just an
Oh,
absolutely gorgeous club. The Bus family owns it now. Of the Laker stuff.
Jerry Bus?
Huh?
Oh, the
Johnny
Jerry Bus?
Johnny Bus owns it.
Johnny Bus.
He's
Oh,
in
wow.
that family. Yeah, so the Bus family is one of their.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a beautiful club, and the Penny Toller is the general manager, and Penny played for the WNBA. She was actually a little trivia for Penny. She was actually the first person in the WNBA to make a basket, to make a point.
Whoa.
Yeah, Penny.
That's some history right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw some. It's a great place. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna start coming out there. I decided to get back on stage, and I, it's like God can only tell you to do something so many doggone times before He knock you in the head.
Right.
And so I never stop writing. That's one thing
Oh, good
I
for you.
I don't do. I
Mhm.
all my thoughts and ideas are written on a sheet of paper in a notebook somewhere in this crazy apartment. And
Yeah.
so I've been going through my notes and writing down stuff, and I'm just gonna start sitting in here filming myself
Uh-huh.
and just working on my material, and
Good
I'm
for
gonna see
you.
if I can get back on stage in about 30 days. That's what I told myself. That's my thing to go find somebody say. So if I call you, I'm be like, you need a warm up, but yeah, I just I can't fight it anymore.
No, I understand. Like I
I
said, I
can't.
started comedy, started doing stand up in 91, but I have jumped in and out so many times. It which is why I feel that I'm not
Yeah,
further. People don't know me, but I'll leave and I'll be gone for 3, 4, 5 years, and then something is like, I got to get back on stage.
yeah.
It calls you
It's
back. So no,
it's
I
like
get it.
it's like people don't understand. Most creatives, we be fighting the feelings sometimes. And we have to come to an understanding that this is how we're built. This was
Mhm.
put in us. We have no control because I can't even explain why I woke up and wanted to be a filmmaker. I can't explain a director. I cannot explain it.
Right.
But all I know is that I've been doing it since I was a kid with
Uh,
plays,
mhm.
with being in speech and drama in schools. This is just in my DNA.
Yeah.
So I decided to not fight it. Now everybody always says, I guess the struggle for me is, people say, oh, if it's meant to be, it'll come easily. And that's the part I struggle with. So like you, I'm in and out of it. I'm in and out because I'm like, if this is in my DNA, this is who I'm supposed to be, then why is it so difficult,
Mhm.
right? To get to the level that I want to be at, I guess is the problem.
I
How do you how do
I
you deal with that in acting, in your acting career?
Lord,
Yeah.
I know because
Yeah.
I've been knocking on these doors for. I moved
Yeah.
out a long ass time. I moved out here in 88 from Chicago. So I've been literally knocking on doors since then. Like my first job. I used to be on Saved by the Bell, and I was back. Well, they didn't call it background then. They called us atmosphere. That was the term, atmosphere. But we
Yeah.
were like the classmates on Saved by the Bell, these same group of us. And then when they would have like little one liners, three liners, or something like that, they would rotate it through us. So that was like
Mm.
my first, like I knew Mario Lopez when he was a teenager on Saved by the Bell.
Wow.
Sure, he wouldn't know who I was now. I haven't crossed paths with him since then. But how do I deal with it? It's not easy, Pat. It's
I
not.
know.
But
I know.
I know that my path had to be the way that it was.
Hmm.
Um, I have a daughter. Shit, life. I have a daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the older I get, it's like the older I get, and the closer that I get to, I'm not gonna say my fame, but the closer I interact with people who are freaking at the top,
Right. Right.
there is a price to pay for everything.
Yeah. As we've learned in the news lately.
There is, and it's like the first time I like really realized that was I used to work with LL Cool J on In the House, work
Hmm.
behind the scenes on that. And when I would see this man leave live tapings on Friday nights, let's say we got out at like 8 or whatever, and he would leave the taping, go to the airport, fly back out to New York to go into the studio or do whatever he had to
Hmm.
do in New York, fly back on the red line, Sunday night on the red line
Yeah.
to be
Get back in LA.
at work Monday morning. It just to see that, it's like, oh, it's a glamorous life. I mean, parts of it, but it's a lot of work. It's,
Yeah.
and just to see like, the fans, they have such love for the for the person, but just to
Right.
see what it how it inhibits
Hmm.
someone from living a normal life or just maybe trying to go to the bathroom. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just
Right.
maybe trying
Right.
to have a drink of water. There is a price to pay, and
Hmm.
I don't know. It seemed cool,
But
but I probably wouldn't have paid. I don't think I would as a a youngster in my 20s, and I don't think I would have fared well with that.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing too is, a lot of people don't realize it's like this career. I guess the path
Hmm.
for a lot of actors, it's like our 9 to 5s. You have some people their 9 to 5 might be in an office setting. Your 9 to 5 is on a stage.
Yeah.
But it's still a job. It's still work. It's still something that like people on a regular job, they try to fight for a promotion. That's the same thing in the acting industry. You're
It just
trying
looks
to fight
different.
for
Yeah.
that next level of
Yeah.
pay, and it's very similar. And when they had this thing, oh, prime example, when the guy from the Cosby Show was being heckled for
Oh, Jeff.
sacking Jeffrey Owens for sacking groceries, and people were like, well, he was on this show, but he was a day player. He was an actor who, you know,
And he's not
that
getting
was
paid
9 to 5. He's not getting Bill Cosby's check, and that's what people didn't understand.
or
It's
understand
certain
the fact
levels.
by the time that episode made it on TV, that paycheck had already
Yeah,
been spent. So it might be a month. Like
thank
I
you.
filmed the episode of the neighborhood. Let's see, what month is March? I filmed an episode of the neighborhood in February, but that's probably not going to be on until May. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That money
Yeah,
is then paid rent.
gone.
That money paid March rent and bought some groceries. So that's
Right.
about as far. Yeah, people don't get
Yeah,
that. I'm not making a shit ton of money. You know, and it's
yeah,
fine. I mean, I chose
yeah,
it. It's fine.
yeah. But and two though, also in that on that flip side of it, you do get to do what you love. You know what I mean? And what I try to tell people. Everybody might not make that same kind of money, but a lot of the people who are creatives and things like that, they're at least doing the stuff that they love to do. And it's like a lot of times it doesn't feel like work, and you can see that it's really worth the effort, of hanging in there and seeing
Yeah,
how far you can get, and
yeah. I'm gonna say, it, it's work. It.
yeah.
I want to say that it doesn't feel like work. It's just a different type of work. You know
No,
what I
no,
mean?
no, I know, but
Because people
I,
say get a real job. I'm like, no, I'm
it
saying you.
is
I
a
know you
job.
understand. I know you
Yeah,
understand.
yeah,
But no, some days it definitely feel like work. Them
yeah.
long
Okay.
ass days, it's like, and
Yeah.
that's another thing. It's like, on the neighborhood, our we don't have the long days, especially since we don't have a live audience anymore. But those days,
Mm,
you could be working 13 single cam. Well, film set single cam, you working 12, 13 days every day.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's, yeah.
That, and so when you're like you mentioned, you're a mother. I met your baby before. What kind of guidance do you give for career choices when you've been in an industry that's like up and down?
So
The
so my daughter actually thought that she wanted to do this. And she went to film
yeah,
school. She's a great
I
writer.
remember.
She went to film school, and then she was
Yeah.
working as a grip, and she decided that the inconsistency was not for
Mm-hmm.
her. Yeah. So
Okay.
so she expresses that creativity just for herself now. She's not trying to make a career from it at this point. And it's not for everybody because, like, our show went down in February without knowing if we were going to be renewed. So
Oh
February,
yeah,
March, a whole month we didn't know if we had a job to come back to. So it's not for everybody. There are cases where people be at work. It's like, wait, why all the suits showing up? We got canceled. What? Go home. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
Not for
yeah,
everybody.
and that. mm, Yeah, that's that.
That hasn't happened to me. I have not been on set when that's happened. I don't even know how I would handle that.
I'm gonna tell you, on the 9 to 5, baby. When I have people laughing at me. My uncle was my number one supporter, but he would be laughing at me. I come home and he'd be like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I got fired again." And it's like you don't know what to do. It's like I would have spidey senses, Stacy. I could get it, go to work, get to my desk, and I'm standing there like something ain't right. If I tell you every time,
Oh, I got
every
fired from a bunch of
single
jobs.
time, huh?
I said I got fired from a bunch of jobs, but that was on me. I ain't had no business in them jobs.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you, I wanted to work. I wanted these jobs to
Okay,
work out. I was looking for a way out of the creativity that's,
okay,
mine.
yeah.
I'm telling myself I'm gonna be normal, right? I'm gonna be an admin. I'm gonna be a receptionist. I'm gonna be
Mhm.
whatever. Baby, please. Some people be like, we don't have a problem with your work ethics, we have people who say they have a problem communicating with you.
That's on them.
I
They
said,
can't communicate. What they got
I'm
to do with
like,
you?
I said, do you know I got a master's degree in communication? What are you talking about? I can't communicate. So they would make up anything. Well, for Black women, it's our personality, our attitudes, it's just something. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. God would not let me sit at these stupid jobs like that. And
You,
some I did actually like, but
I'm trying to say, I see, like, I told you I can't see nothing. I see, like, the little stuff going on at the bottom of the screen. What the people say
yeah.
down there, Fed?
They're just saying hi. We got one idiot that's asking stupid stuff. I don't delete it anymore. I want everybody to see how we get these stupid comments.
Uh-huh.
I just let them sit there. People
You just,
can read it.
yeah.
Uh, one M Smith, hi. She says, "I'm trying to tell you." I don't know what she's trying to tell us. I think she's agreeing with what we
Hmm.
haven't, what we're saying about work ethics and
Yeah.
life.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, I see it
oh,
down.
she said she
I
haven't
guess
met a bad Black woman. I
a,
don't know what that means,
a bad.
but
I mean,
yeah,
I guess a black woman that M. Smith doesn't like. I guess. What up?
I guess maybe. Oh no. Oh, you said it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, M. Smith. 1, 2, 3. But I for the most part with okay, so with the neighborhood ending, so now for people who are not in the entertainment, that means your agency, are you, see, we don't like to talk about stuff because, until it's a final yes, but you're going back into the ball, the
Eight
rolling ball
for
to,
season 8. Yep. As far as I know.
oh no, oh, okay, you got one more season. I'm automatically thinking season 8 is already here. Okay,
No,
my
season.
bad. No, no,
Yeah,
no,
we'll
no.
start season
You
8
got
in
one more season.
August, usually around mid-August, and hopefully it'll be
Okay.
a full season of like 20. So,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
then they did like the last episode of season 7 was actually a setup, a pilot setup for a spinoff for the brothers. Um,
Oh, I read that.
so I we don't
Okay.
know if it got picked up yet. So, but the way that
Okay.
they the way the episode is written, it'll work either
Mm-hmm.
way. It'll work either way. Like
Wait.
they weren't
Okay.
written out of the show. Uh, so
Oh.
if it doesn't go to a full series, they'll still be on the neighborhood.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I did read that. So the comedy now, did do you who do you have as your, I ain't gonna say favorite, but who's like your top three right now? We, like I said, ever since Shannon Sharp, everybody's all into their panties about comedy and who's the best and who's this. Who I'm gonna rephrase that. Who do you listen to or watch more right now?
Um, so I just have an affinity for Wanda Sykes. I love
Yes,
that woman. I absolutely
yes,
I love
me
everything
too.
about Wanda's comedy.
Yes,
You know what I mean? I
yeah,
really do.
yeah,
I then I have people. Okay, so Wanda Sykes is someone people know. You know, she's
right.
at the top of the game. She's a celebrity. And then I just have comics that I know that I enjoy watching them work, or I enjoy the way that they're writing.
Who
You know,
are
like,
they?
oh my gosh,
I want to know.
that is so freaking clever. You know, I never saw it
Yeah.
that way. Like one of my and not in comics for different friends, like my friend Jalen, Jalen
Hmm.
Bishop, she has the most incredible energy on stage. She's just like a big
Okay.
ball of energy. So I
Yeah.
like watching that because that's not who I am on stage. That's just not who I am. Period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have some energy, but I'm not like that.
Yeah.
So I like watching her and watching the crowd react to that. Then I have a friend who's pretty. He's somewhat known, Dwayne Kennedy. He's out of Chicago.
Okay.
Freaking brilliant writer. Like I
Hmm.
just love Dwayne's writing. So many people just for different reasons. Uh,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
those are the two that I would highlight right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there are quite a few, well, not quite a few, but there are a few favorites I have too right now from social media that
Mm,
I found.
okay.
And one of them, and they're all different styles.
Hmm.
So I love me some Nate Jackson. He is
Oh my God, he's
a
really funny.
crowd
Yes,
control
I'm gonna have to agree.
genius.
I'm gonna have to
That
agree with you on that.
boy.
Yes.
He, this dude, the way his brain be thinking of shit and then interlacing and connecting dots, he could go from the 90s to the 2000s,
Yeah.
back to the 80s, back to the present.
Do
His
you remember?
brain has so much material, huh?
Do you remember Nate Jackson when he was in LA? He had his car with his name on it. He would drive
You know
around.
who that is? That's the same
Huh?
person.
That's Nate Jackson. You don't
That's
remember?
him.
Yeah.
Girl, shut up. I remember that damn car.
Yes, that's Nate Jackson. And it was
That's
like the craziest thing, but that's who we all know Nate Jackson. Nate's freaking funny.
you just shocked the hell out of me right there. I remember that damn car. We used to laugh at him.
You weren't by yourself.
Something terrible. It was just unbelievable.
Yes.
Wow, that's the same dude.
That's
Girl, you
as
just did.
listen, as far as I know, that's the same dude. If I'm mistaken, someone correct me. But as far as I know, because
I think you're right. Now I'm kind of remembering
that dude
the
was a
shape of
comedy. Yeah.
his head on that damn car. Wow, look where he is now. That boy is international now.
He owns that comedy club in I think it's
I saw that
Tacoma.
wherever he lives.
I think it's Tacoma. I think it's
Yeah, something like that.
yeah.
Yep. So yeah. Oh my God, that you just hit my butt. Yeah, I'm gonna be tripping all day off of that one. And then I love the cute little Josh Johnson.
Oh, Josh Johnson, yeah, with his
Listen,
yeah, topical stuff.
his political. I mean, he is not only political. He just is a great observationist. You know,
Yeah.
and that's I think that's why I like him because I consider myself an observationist too. I'm always observing shit, right? But
Mhm.
he has the top tier level of being an observationist and being able to intertwine and connect and relate to the audience and break all these things down. And he is just a genius in how he delivers as well. Now,
Mhm.
my all-time new favorite is Ali Sadiq. I fight people over Ali.
I can listen
That
to his stories all day. Yeah.
I do. I do. Listen, I would have to turn down my volume and damn near bend over under the desk laughing at him every time
Uh-huh.
a new clip popped up.
Uh-huh.
And I think for me with him, because he's from Houston,
Hmm.
and then he be talking about these areas and neighborhoods that I know about.
Uh-huh.
That's what makes it extra funny for
Yeah.
me. You know, it's like, oh shit. And I'm
Those
still sitting at home like, do I how I don't know him, you know, because it's his stories are such familiarities
Hmm.
because I grew up in Houston, but the
Okay,
way,
you gotta name a woman now. You can't just name all these men. You gotta name a woman
yeah, but I was in agreement with you with
with Wanda.
Wanda Sykes,
Oh, okay.
but I also love Miss Pat. Now,
Hmm.
you know me, I'm not strictly male. I'm not. You're right.
I
I
know. Listen,
apologize.
I like to
I
think.
apologize to my black queens. Now everybody know I love Leslie Jones. Leslie Jones. I always talk about her, but and I always share the stuff. But I saw Miss Pat
Hmm.
from the Miss Pat show. She is funny as hell. She is listen.
Yeah, her. Yeah,
She
her
is
thing.
almost cray cray as well. That girl is crazy.
Yeah, I
She has.
I had been hearing about her and wasn't familiar with her and saw that special and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get it.
Listen, I saw that little. She did another. She was on somebody's show where they were cooking, and I think it was with a rapper guy, and they, had the clip online, and the comics, the comical feedback, or what's the word I'm looking for? The comical banter that
Mhm,
she had with Jude on that set. I was in here crying. She
mhm.
wasn't even trying to be funny.
Right.
She just naturally
Funny. Yeah.
funny. I was gonna use another word. They don't let us use it, but
Yeah.
she is crazy funny.
Hmm.
But yeah, I love Miss Pat, and I also was so happy about Lunel and her being in Vegas. But her Lunel's Netflix special, I think I watched that shit about 20 times. I ain't gonna lie, that special, I was I was very upset that it was only 30 minutes.
Well,
Let me
that
just say
is a beautiful thing for any artist to hear that you
that. Yeah,
wanted more. And it's so wonderful to see her like where she is now
yeah,
getting these flowers because
yeah.
we've all seen her in the clubs, you know.
Yep, yep. I even got pictures with her too, where I met her
Yeah.
at a function and things like that. But yeah, I remember saying I was at Five Guys. I was getting a hamburger and I was doing a video, a TikTok. I'm like, who the hell only gave Lunel 30 minutes? Where's the
Yeah.
hour at? She been out here a long ass time.
Yeah,
And
she
then she's dressed so pretty. Whoever that outfit, everything about that show
yeah.
was A plus.
Yeah, it was
Um,
wonderful to see. She definitely has been grinding for a
yeah,
while. And now, you know, it's a different type of grind. You know what I mean? She getting her
yeah,
flowers.
yeah. And you are correct. I was happy to see a woman finally get the recognition that she deserves,
Hmm.
and it's a good thing to see. And I'm gonna try one day to get down there to Vegas myself to go see her
Residency.
because yeah, that's just that's just top tier. We haven't been hearing about no stand up comedy residencies in a long time.
Yeah.
That's an old school thing. And she is, to me, she's the one that's making it popular again. She brought it back
Hmm.
with the residency. I don't know who else
Well,
had
you
a
know, George
comedy
Wallace had a
residency.
he might still be out
Oh
there.
well, yeah, but
Yeah.
again, that started years
Yeah.
ago. I'm talking about
Yeah.
with the
Okay.
newness
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, George Wallace, you can't beat
Hmm.
him, but that's back in the day. Yeah.
Hmm.
But okay, Stacy, I love you. You know that. And
Thank
I adore you. I'm so happy that you're still out here and we get to see your face on TV and in the clubs. And I'm going, like I said, you're going to be seeing more of me in that damn comedy club because I
good.
can't get out of it. And I'm just happy that you and Jalen have the show that, me, that just rings to my heart so
Hmm.
much because like you say, women, we have a hard time trying to get on stage. And it's hard when you can't get on stage because you can't practice the way you want to practice in front of the audience to
Listen,
develop your craft in the way that these guys do.
it's crazy because you will see these flyers with for the
Hmm.
show, and it's all male, not a
Yeah,
woman. It'll be 20 men on the flyer, or it'll be 20 white people on the flyer, just like no diversity. And so
at all.
our show, I'm like, look, we producing the show is always going to be more women than men. So it's always 3 women and 2 men on our show. And then it's always more brown people than white people, but it's always diverse. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
all because everybody needs a voice and to show up. Everybody needs to laugh. So I'm
yeah.
very proud of
Because
Homebody. Yeah.
yeah, and because you're right, it's like even now, in the climate of looking for a job, right? I be out here on Indeed, and then you go Google the job, and they said they had a tab for meet our team, and everybody on there is color. Really,
Hmm.
really,
Yeah.
it's
So
so frustrating. So I'm happy to hear that, and it's like all these guys, and that's what I tell people all the time. The men are gonna support each other. They're
yeah.
going to, even with the podcast, that they try to take over. They're leading the game, and you know, I get upset because I want us to do more than what we're doing, but you know, we can only do. People only do. I learned you can only do what you have in you.
Yeah. Yeah. And what you know can uh, you can only do what you have in you. You can only
And what
do
you know.
what you personally think is possible. Because some people don't
Yeah,
see the possibilities. You know.
right. You're right. Yeah, you have to believe it in yourself. Well, we know you believe it, and I believe it, and we're going to keep rolling because we've been out here a long time. And
Oh,
I again thank you. And I
oh
want to thank everybody who tuned in and clicked in to see the show.
man, thank you for
Stacey
having
Lynn
me.
Fletcher, I'll see you soon, my
Uh,
lady. Thank you so much.
you guys follow me on Instagram. I got to
Yeah,
get my
I was
numbers
going to
up.
say, follow her. I'm going to tag her in the description, but
Cool. Yeah. It's
IG at Stacy Lynn Fletcher. Go
yep.
follow her. She's
And it's
really
Stacy.
funny.
It's Stacy with an I.
Stacy with an I. Yeah. I always put the handle in the description so
Cool.
they'll find you. Okay. Thank
Cool.
you again. Thank y'all everybody. Thank you for watching Houston to LA. I'll see y'all next time.
Okay.
Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Stacy.